That's fucked up. Where AI slop meets. Is it really an AI slop game? AI in Where With Me is primarily used for NPC conversations and minor character interactions, enhancing immersion without replacing the main story or core game content. I don't mind that. I think that if you're using large language models for something like getting NPCs to talk to you and be dynamic, I think that's very good. That's fine. That's okay, especially if you first study and train your AI models on legally acquired RPGs and story based RPGs. Fine, I think that's okay. I think that like I'm let me another side tangent, another small rant. Let me just talk about. I don't even mind AI art. I don't care. I just convinced. I convinced an NPC I was their god. That's badass. Look, that is RPG 101. The fact that their NPCs can be convinced that you randomly, some fucking traveler, some adventurer, are their god is great. I think that's cool. I think if AI is used in innovative, creative, and non-intrusive ways in game, I don't give a fuck. If it's not replacing jobs but creating value, I don't give a fuck. That's okay. Because guess what? Some schmuck, some fucking writer who's already worried about the main game, who's already worried about all the sideline quests, does not have time to create 30,000 lines of branching fucking content for you to do something as cool as convince an NPC that you're their god. They don't. They just don't. The budgets are too big. The scope is too big. The teams are large. Like, we don't have the resources now to do that the way we could in something like a Skyrim or a Morrowind or a Fallout back in the day. We can't do that. The budgets are already too big. If they attempt to do something like that, they're going to skip out on something else. We're going to lose out on story content. We're going to lose out on great side quests. We're going to lose out on real character development alongside of the main, cast. And I don't want that. I never am mad at AI being used if it's used properly. Look, if someone creates the world's greatest card game and all of their art, not trained on AI, and all of their art was put into and it was put into they made like sketch art because they're not the greatest artists themselves, or they got a friend to draw a bunch of art, a bunch of styles of art that they wanted, and they trained an AI model on that art and created the world's greatest card game, and all of the art was AI created after that point. I don't care, because the function of that card game is intact, and the original idea and the core concept of the game was built around that. If you start throwing AI art into something like Magic the Gathering now, fucking 30 years later, yeah, I'm a little upset. But if you're doing it and you're creating it a new project all based off or mod, right? Creeper mentions here like an AI RPG convo mods, like that's fine. I'm totally cool with that. I do think disclosing to people who give a shit is also a good thing. I think giving people as much choice, as much clarity as possible is a good thing. But I'm not an artist, and I don't have the money to commission an artist. So if I were to create a video game tomorrow, and it was the best video game you've ever played, I promise you every piece of art in the game, every 3D polygon would be either placeholders from UE5 or would be fucking AI. And you might like it. You might be like, this is a great game. Wow, Beanie really knows how to design a game. But am I an artist? No. Do I have the money and the team to get together to create art? No. Right? I think that on the top end, when it's erasing jobs and replacing people and not creating any real inherent value, I think AI sucks. I think for mid-range teams and large teams trying to enhance the scope of their game without removing people, but creating extra content using something like AI. Same way that we look, procedurally generated dungeons were the closest thing to AI before we had AI in games. Procedurally generated dungeons are fucking AI. It's an algorithm. I'm sorry. Like, let's be real. So if you like your fucking roguelites with procedurally generated dungeons, I don't want to hear about how AI is killing a team. Because procedural generation actually kills the core concept of world design. And some people love roguelites. I fucking hands up if you love roguelites with procedural generation, baby. I sure do. So I'm on this weird spectrum of part of it's okay while the other it's a nuance. There's black and white to it. Cough, that's what I'm saying. You're one of them, you know. There is a nuance to it. I don't think Starfield. There we go. I don't think all of it. I'm an amputee. I can't raise my hands. God. Midfield, yeah. I don't think all of it is okay, but I don't think you should just completely remove it because you don't like what it can be used for. I think checking bad actors is fine. Look, I don't want to get political here, but I don't think you should let men pretending to be women in the women's restroom. But a man who is a woman now, right? Trans women are women. If you let them in the restroom, cool, right? That's a normal person doing normal things. But bad actors are trying to abuse the system. If you stop the bad actors, that's what I'm here for. The same thing, and that's why I said I don't want to get political, right? Human rights aren't political, depending on who you ask. But looking at video games and AI the same way, there will be bad actors trying to use and abuse AI in ways that don't add real inherent value to games. Not cool. But if they're creating value without reducing the scope or the size of their teams, cool with me. I don't care. That's my thought process. That's how I feel. Right? Some people staunchly, completely against AI. The same way some people are staunchly against what I just mentioned to try to, bring AI and the context of nuance into the real world. Some people are fully against it. That's cool. Give them that transparency. I think transparency when it comes to AI matters for a lot of people. I would like to know, right? Because sometimes it's okay, AI was used in the creation of this game. It was used for this. I can check and be okay, this is a reasonable way to use AI. Or AI was used to design all of the art in this giant AAA game that was billions of dollars made. And it's okay, well, it was made with billions of dollars of funding. What did the billions of dollars now go into, if not into the design of the world? What did this team if they didn't create the most bomb bussin' story I've ever fucking played or ever heard about? Probably not for me. Because you guys cut an entire team and reeled in the team you had to focus on something, and if you didn't even do that right, you're shit. You suck. AI couldn't save you, obviously. But a small team, maybe AI can save them. The same way procedural generation for roguelites saves them. Like I said, that was just a small rant. I had to get that shit off my chest because, man, do I hate the AI. It's fucking evil and I hate it. I don't like AI when it's used poorly. But I will say that I don't like the way that AI is taking over the world, right? We can't fucking get computer parts and goddamn consoles now. But I think there is some amount of inherent merit, bars, to it. Y'all just gave me an extra fucking video because who the fuck mentioned AI? I'm pissed. Oi! I'm pissed. All right, chat. We're gonna play some Fortnite. Let me make sure my AI is about to replace our D&D dungeon masters. I think there is an inherent skill to being a good dungeon master, so probably not. Then at that point, you're playing against the NPC. I do think that maybe they'll create more fair quests and stuff, and that's probably fine. Sure, I don't do D&D, so whatever. Or maybe AI creates the dungeons. That's also I think that's probably fine. Sure, right?